Crawford, who's going to do an evaluation of an F1 speech. Thank you very much. Too kind. And it's Emily's F1 speech, Making a Start. Now the thing about making a start is it's an easy speech in a sense, because we say is be open and just come and talk about something you know, talk about yourself. And at the same time it's difficult because it's your first speech, and how do you do it, and will it work, and all that kind of thing. So I was intrigued by the title, I must say. The issue of art, science and the Renaissance, I mean, is a very deep subject, and I think we're dealing here with a speaker who has a tremendous amount of knowledge and is a deep thinker, which bodes well, I think, for a series of speeches to come. I liked the speech. I thought it was unusual. It kept our interest. It had content that was perhaps rather deeper than we might usually have in an F1 speech. But I'm left with the impression that the speaker has enough in her head for another 50 speeches on art and the Renaissance if she so chooses. And it might be better, just a little learning point, to home in on perhaps a narrower topic next time if that is to be chosen. And it might be easier to do, and would produce a very good speech. Now, the speech was not without its gory moments. I mean, here we have visions of Leonardo da Vinci flaying bodies to find out just how the muscles worked and all that kind of thing. Good stuff. I loved it. I loved a bit of gore. And then, of course, there weren't many gestures in the speech. Wouldn't expect them, but blood pouring out of an artery in a perfect parabola. Sit back a minute and think of that. So, I mentioned that because there's a lot more of that good stuff in there, I'm sure, for another speech. So, the theme was the development of human knowledge, art and science, how they work together, how they come together, how the politics of humanity can cause a conflict between the two of them, and that is very apparent in the content of the speech. So, a good start. I liked the speech. It was at a topic that we could all find interesting, and I have a number of points. I don't want to go on too long because making a start is really about saying, great, thank you to the speaker. It was a good thing to start in this way. It was a nice topic, and I enjoyed it. For your next speech, the learning points we give are to say, think about these things for your next speech. There's no point in just talking stuff. It's got to be directed at things that you might think about and improve. So I noticed particularly that your confidence grew, speaker, as you went through the speech. You were much more confident towards the end of the speech than you were at the beginning, which is understandable. It's a bit like doing an exam, isn't it? When you get to the final question, and you know that your time's nearly up and you're nearly there, you start to have more confidence. So your confidence grew, and I think that's important because it will lead you to be able to do a number of things. First of all is voice projection. You just need to, as you grow in confidence and you practice, you will be able not to be so tied to the notes, and you will be able to look at the audience, get eye contact, and speak to the audience. Speak to the back of the room is what they usually say. So voice projection is something for you to think about. Just practice. Just practice. And if you are not relying so much on the notes, then you're speaking straight at the audience, and you're not speaking to the lectern, which is always a difficulty if you're using notes. It's the same for all of us. So look up, maintain eye contact for your next speech, and practice voice projection. A few little things along the way. You have a tendency, we all do it, for hand wringing as you speak. It's just one of those things. It's one of those nervous things that we start off with. Think about what you're going to do with your hands if you're not going to use them in gestures. Some people say don't grab the lectern. I don't particularly mind. I think if somebody rests their hands on the lectern as they're speaking, it's perfectly acceptable. If you want to keep them by your side, it's acceptable. But that's, if you do that, it looks a bit like waiting for the headmistress to come and tell you off, doesn't it? So just think about that. Just think about controlling your hands and not wringing them. But apart from that, I thought it was a good speech. It was well delivered. It had good content, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Well done.